So, Coach Max here. Welcome to my free resource on how to feel less weird about Christmas and the holiday season. So, this is more of a personal video. I really wanted to put this together to help others who are just maybe in a weird place emotionally when it comes to the holiday season. Just because it can feel at times often almost like it's mandated time to be happy. It's like mandated happiness time, right? You see the commercials, the spirit, everybody's like in good cheer, but for a lot of people, it just may be hard to live up to those same expectations, and that's who this video is for, and that's who I'm intending to help. So I want to begin by relating a little bit about my personal experience and what I've learned coming out of that, so that in turn, if you're going through similar circumstances emotionally, you may be able to shift your thinking in a way that lets you have a better time this time of year. A little bit of personal background. Like I've mentioned before, I am a first generation immigrant myself. I came from China to the United States when I was 8 years old in the late 90s. And growing up, I was separated from my parents for about a good 6 years because they came to the States first. So that I think in turn had a lot of downstream effects on our relationship, my own attachment style, and a million other things that you can draw some conclusions for. But for the sake of this video, we'll just kind of focus on our kind of experience with holiday traditions, the lack thereof, in the sense that I didn't really grow up with a large extended family or a lot of gift exchanging or really doing anything special to commemorate the holidays, because so much of our existence was just purely focused on succeeding, making money, etc., 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 that anything outside of that, like celebrating a holiday and spending time together, seemed kind of frivolous and wasn't really given a lot of time and attention to. It was a pretty comfortable time in a material sense, I suppose, but emotionally, I think there was a lot of conflict and lack of support. And for the most part, today we're healed, I would say, but relative to other families, we're still what might be considered fairly distant when it comes to keeping in touch and spending time together during times of the year like these. For a really long time, I felt bad and felt bad about feeling bad, frankly, a sense of guilt, I suppose, about this being the way it was. But after struggling during this season for many, many years, even up until recently, I figured out that it doesn't have to be like this, and that is what I want to share with you today. The first thing I would say is to be radically self-accepting of your circumstances, whether that's, like I said before, you just got broken up with, you haven't had the time to invest in your relationships this year, or you and your parents are just going through a rough patch at the moment, or any of a number of other circumstances that people may find themselves in during the holiday season. The more you fight against it, the more you say things like, oh, why me? Why does it have to be like this? The more difficult it is going to be for yourself. So the first thing is to focus on being accepting of what is and taking it from there. Next, you want to hone in on the things that you control over the things that you don't, right? So I think about one of my favorite clothing brands, Scott Fraser collection out in London in the UK. And it's really interesting because he runs a quote unquote fuck Santa sale every year on Christmas. It's one of, if not the only sale that he has all year. But it's essentially, it comes down to this idea of you control your destiny. Don't wait on others to get you what you want, because chances are they're not going to know what you want anyway. You yourself know best when it comes to what is it do you want, like this time of year or just out of life. And that's the same spirit, I think, that you should take into your approach to the holiday season and to life. This may mean indulging in self-care, getting yourself a present that you want. Don't wait on others to do it for you. Thirdly, it's really helpful, I find, to just dive into something you deeply care about and use this time for things that you don't normally have time for under normal circumstances. For me, right now in this moment, that is making content and building out this business for you and people like myself, frankly, when I was younger and like less aware and less far along in my journey, so that you don't have to feel like you're alone and you can feel like it's okay to be going through tough times every once in a while. But also use this time as a time of introspection and reflection, right? Where are you now versus exactly 1 year ago? We tend to put too much emphasis on things that happen in the near term. This is called recency bias, and not enough on what happened in a longer look back window before now. Chances are, if you look back far enough, you'll see just how much you've grown and changed positively in other ways, even if it feels like there's no one to share that with right now in this moment. So this is not a Christmas hater video by any means. I have nothing against the holiday, as you can see even by my choice of background colors at the moment. I'm simply saying all of this to say that if you're just not feeling up to it with the holiday season for whatever reason, it's okay, and there are ways to deal and to get through it as best as you can. If you like this video, definitely like and follow for more. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one in my Max Morphous Fit transformation program, where I provide training, nutrition, support, and accountability for all your fitness goals, apply below or drop me a DM on Instagram.